Yes, this is Lagoon Radio. Good morning, wherever you are in any part of the world. 8:27 minutes to the hour of 10. And you are on to your show. This is where we familiar you with what our national dailies. Yes, that's newspaper review. Just sit back. I'm Kyle Ezekiel, and it's another beautiful morning. Yes, I'm not the only one in the studio. We are here together. But before we dabble to today's business, you can follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Twitter and Instagram, Lagoonradio.Ng. You can even see us live on our YouTube channel, LagoonTV. Subscribe, yes, and be part of our family. I'm not the only one, as I've said. I have a presenter and at the same time a producer in the house with me. Good morning, Shay.
Yes, good morning, Nigeria. Good morning. Welcome to Newspaper Review.
Okay, and we have Ogbonge to the world, Sandra. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, Shego.
And in the house this morning, we have somebody that will be doing the introduction herself. Maybe she would do it better because I'm not from. I think I'm not from her side, but let her just try. I'll cope. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell us your name?
My name is Ladin.
Okay, I think I'm seeing you for the first time on this show. No problem. We do it together. Yes, I have with me a series of our newspaper this morning, and I think let me just double straight away with the head of the Punch. Do I have the Punch yet? No, I have the Nigerian Tribune. Yes, and I have this content, this story to be the most prominent. I have Autumn Fayose wasn't PDP. Atiku's worries. The story for this says, it's Southern presidency or nothing. This is coming from Fayose. I think this is all about PDP. Autumn blows out over Atiku's failure. Well, presidential candidates has right to choose anyone. This is from a particular group. Are you still a national chairman? This is from the PDP. Well, now this story continues on the 15th page of the Nigerian newspaper. And I have this on Ikerimadu's case. We've been familiar with the happenings in his ward. Federal government hires lawyers for his defense. Senate sends delegation to UK tomorrow. Well, it continues on the 19th page of that newspaper. Again, reps reintroduce controversial water resources bill. Therefore, to probe first subsidy claim from 2017 to 2021. Well, it continues on the second page of the Nigerian's most informative newspaper, that's the Nigerian Tribune. Court restrains Oyo Assembly from removing deputy governor. Well, the story continues on the 16th page too of that newspaper. Army to engage services of retired personnel in tackling insecurity. This is from the chief COAS, yes, there is a particular ranking, and I think it's from the chief army of staff. It is well. It continues on the 28th page of that newspaper. On food scarcity, federal government pays marketers 71 billion naira, bridging claims 2.7 billion naira freight differentials. It continues on the 6th page of that newspaper. Bandits give residents 5 days to vacate plateau communities. That's saddening. It continues on the 31st page of that newspaper on our massacre. Please apologize. Say attackers will be arrested. I pray it happens. It's on the 25th page of that newspaper. Train attack, abducted passengers shot by terrorists in critical condition. This is so saddening too. This is from a negotiator. They didn't mention the name of the person. It continues on the 31st page of that newspaper. Federal government targets 3.8 trillion naira, 160 billion naira annual revenues from non-oil sectors. It continues on the 7th page of that newspaper. Sanwo-Olu unveils digitalized container classroom. 13 outstanding Lagos teachers get new SUVs. Well, that's good and encouraging. It continues on the second page of that newspaper, and I have this to be the last story there. terrorists sabotaging power supply. This is from the federal government, and therefore FEC okays 23 billion naira for 6 new electricity projects. It's on the second page of the Nigerian most informative newspaper at the Nigerian Tribune. Grab a copy and keep yourself informed. Yes, she is, eh?
Yes, I have the Blueprint newspaper, and on the top news, that is the Hajj 2022. How Nikon will complete pilgrims airlift ahead July 3rd deadline. The stories is on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. And PDP in disarray. Threat to remove National Chairman Ayu thickens. The story is on the front page and the continuation on page 6. Terrorists kill 2, kidnap medical doctor, 15 others in Kaduna. It is on page 7. Organ harvesting. Senate delegation heads to London Friday. You got a story on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. FBN Holdings, that's First Bank of Nigeria Holdings, sustaining profitability in 2021 financial year. You get that on page 17. And on page 19, COVID-19 drives global digital payment surge, says the World Bank. Senate confirms all 7 ministerial nominees. You get that on page 14 of the Blueprint newspaper. And report to disquiet among troops over poor equipment, welfare fake, says the army. You get it on page 14. And Anambra, family kicks police. Replace 30-year-old with 70-year-old man's corpse. You get that on page 7 of the Blueprint newspaper. And on page 14, kidnapped Abuja Kaduna train victims' families intensify call for release. And on page 7, 525 million naira fraud. Court jails fraudster 235 years in Uyo. You get that on page 70, on page 7 of the Blueprint newspaper. Just grab a copy of the Blueprint newspaper and read through.
Yes, Sandra is there.
Okay, I have this Nigeria on the front line. Insecurity. Military kills several bandits in Kaduna, Plateau as IPO accused federal government of accused the federal government of important important terrorists. I hope I got that. Or still on that. Rev'd alleged $10 billion revenue loss, problem of the substance payment under Buhari. You can get that one on page 5 of that. Aratom finding out blow hurts. Article unfair to Wike.
Okay.
Sorry?
I'm with you, not.
Okay. Article unfair to Wike. River governor orders PDP members design the surveys. Ex Plateau on Okowa Church as run mates. Ex Ekiti governor, South president or nothing. Over 20 alleged referral opportunities in Nigeria. NNPC You can get that one on page 15. Senate declared to visit Equimado's wife in London. You can get that one.
Senate delegation.
Yeah, Senate delegation. Thank you for that one. Senate delegation to visit Equimado wife in London. You can get that one on page 8, page 9 of that newspaper. So I didn't say it clear. Either 9.
It's on page 6.
On page 6 of
Yes.
visit report. Report reveal of 40% of Nigeria's citizens believe election are
fraudulent.
You can get that one on page 7 of this day newspaper. I hope it's 7. I'm not seeing. Anyway, you can get that one on the page 6 of this day newspaper. Just grab your copy and go through it.
Okay, let's have you, laddie.
So this morning I'm going to be your pilot as I take the pilot newspaper. 10 billion oil subsidy, Rev'd proves Buhari. You can continue reading that on page 8 of the Nigerian pilot. Indiscipline, IGP set up committee to try 130 senior staff. That is also on page 8 of Nigerian pilot. Court jail fraudster to 35 years for 525 million fraud. That's huge. Insecurity, Buhari supporting Fulani to take over Nigeria, says Governor Hotam. So IOP to federal government, you import terrorists from neighboring country. You can continue reading that on page 8 of the Nigeria pilot. Federal government engaged lawyers for organ harvester case. You can continue reading that on page 7 of the Nigerian pilot. Senate confirmed all 7 ministerial nominees. You can continue reading that on page 6 of the Nigerian pilot. 20 million Nigerians suffer from hepatitis B virus infection. Hepatitis B. Sorry, thank you for that. Infection. You can continue reading that on page 5 of the Nigerian pilot. 29.4 million Nigerians abuse drug. NDLEA confirmed that. That is also on page 6 of the Nigerian pilot. I think that's all on the Nigerian pilot. You can grab a copy of Nigerian pilot and let him drive you around Nigeria. Thank you.
Yes, as the pilot is driving you around, and you don't go too far because I still have the Daily Independent newspaper here with me, and I have to be the most prominent content there. I have crisis in PDP as governors take backseat in party's activities. That's so saddening. I think it's not healthy for the party this time because the incumbents are not that simple. But no problem. I pray they get settled soon. And it continues with 11 boycott inauguration of Osun Campaign Council. Okoa Damagun Bature urge common front to capture Osun. And I'm still national chairman of the PDP. I'm not the one talking there, so you calm down. No. Senator Hiyocha Ayu is the one talking there. This story continues on the 29th page of the Daily Independent newspaper. Despite COVID-19, EdSARS insurers post over 800 billion naira gross premium. On insecurity, army to engage services of retired personnel. It is well. Court restrains Oyo Assembly from impeaching Makinde's deputy. It's continued on the 7th page of that newspaper. Buhari's confirmed ministerial nominees are sure of making impact. It continues on the 7th page of that newspaper too. Federal government okays everything federal government here. It is well. Federal government okays 5.114 billion naira project to shore up power supply. Okay. It continues on the 6th page of that newspaper. Sanwo-Olu unveils digitized container classrooms. It continues on the 6th page of that newspaper on Running Mate. Listen carefully. Why Tinubu rejected Lawan yeah, below. Well, yeah, if you're interested in that story, grab a copy of this newspaper that's there. And I have this to be the last story there. Senate to send delegation to visit Ekweremadu wife in London. It continues on the 6th page of that newspaper. And I could see on the pictorial message, I could see Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, Obafemi Amsa, the deputy governor, the Yinka Ogundimu, member of State House of Representative Assembly, Olashade, they are there. Commissioner of Education. On the rehabilitation of public schools, some students and teachers during the official commissioning of the Fetland Rear Grammar School, Agege, Lagos, on Wednesday. Grab a copy of the Nigerian most read newspaper among the political and business edits, and keep yourself informed. Shade to Africa, happy to the world.
Anyone you like, you can call it. Yes, I'll be taking this newspaper, and it is called. I'm taking the Punch newspaper today. Yes, on the front page we have the running mates. Wike Ukowa scams clash as autumn Fayoshi threaten Atiku's bid. Picking Okowa undemocratic. Only God can tell me to support Atiku, says Autumn. Well, I know they finish. Atiku should reach out to Wike, Rivers PDP. No going back on Okowa, says Aid. Fayose demands Southern presidency, says PDP constitution backs power rotation. You get all the story, all this problem, wahala, you get them on page 2.
I beg, no wahala.
No be wahala. You get all the story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And on FAAC allocation declines by 30%, state finances may worsen. Yeah, you see the story on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. And Nigeria lost 500.6 billion naira crude oil in 5 months.
Okay.
That is true investigation. You get a story on page 29. Minister disnegates plans to end ASU strike. Senate confirms nominees. You get a story on page 12. Rev'd pro petrol subsidy payment. Alleged $10 billion revenue loss. You get a story on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. And Ekweremadu, ensure justice prevails. Senate tells federal government. You get a story on page 8. Lawmakers kicks as water bill resurfaces at House of Reps. You get a story on page 13 of the Punch newspaper. And Lagos unveils digitized container classrooms, reward teachers. That's a very good one from the Lagos State Governor. You got a story on page 13. And one of the teachers that I've been following on IG, she was a partaker of the reward. She got herself a car.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
She was rewarded a car.
Yes,
yeah. And Tenda in Ogun Delta Road crashes. FRSC could blame speeding over speeding queues. You get a story on page 5. And Redeemer School's response to my son's death. Redeemer School response to my son's death. Wicked. Mother of drone pupil. You got a story on page 5. Court stops Oyo deputy governor's impeachment adjourned till July 5. You got a story on page 4. Negotiator says abducted train passengers shot, families begs reps. You got a story on page 6. Popular U.S. musician R. Kelly backs 30 years for sex trafficking. page 44. Great collapse. Terrorists sabotaging rehabilitation efforts, says the federal government. You get a story on page 30 of the Punch newspaper. Just grab yourself a copy and read through.
Okay, Sandra is there.
Okay, I found this new national star on the front line. Okay, there's a story I saw there that I just want to speak for because of our time. INEC raised the alarm over the port of search of 2023 election. You can get that one on page 10. Outreach at Anambra police station trained the camp of
Sorry, which newspaper is that?
new national star.
Okay.
Outrage as Anambra police tendered the corpse of 70 years old man for 30 years old man. Okay. You can get that one on page 11 of that. Kano former governor Shikaru demand to NNPPD NNPP. You can get that one on page 22 of the newspaper. 130 Senate, 130 senior police officer face problem over indiscipline. Indiscipline. Yeah. Thank you. You can get that one on page 14 of the newspaper. And the front line, it has been a training mark article to hold back support as Fadia says it South return. Federal government held lawyers to define Ekwemedo's wife in London. You can get that one on page.
Yeah, federal government hires lawyers to defend Ikremadu's wife in London.
In London. You can get that one on page 10. And that is all in New National Newspaper.
Yes, laddie. Please, you have to do as if you're catching the train.
So on the News Telegraph, so I will just try and read the one that has not been read because of our time.
Okay.
Federal government blames terrorists for nationwide power outrage. You can continue reading that on page 4 of the News Telegraph. CBN, federal government recorded 580.93 billion naira deceit in February. So you can continue reading that on page 8 on the News Telegraph. Alleged misconduct. 130 CPS, ACPS orders to face false disciplinary committees. Rev'd reintroduce controversial water bid amid protest. You can continue reading that on page 4 of the News Telegraph. Abia 2023. I am most experienced candidate. Mascot Kalu states. You can read that on page 3 on the News Telegraph. And we have PDP crisis deepens as 11 governors boycott Osun campaign's inauguration. That's on page 2 on the News Telegraph. I think terrorists kill JTF commander, abort doctors, 15 others in Kaduna. That is on page. You can continue reading that on page 4 of the News Telegraph. That's all.
Yes, of course, that's the extent we will bring you this morning on newspaper review. Another day will be tomorrow. Of course, you can follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter, Lagoonradio.Ng. And it's now about having Chimeze on another episode of the State of the Nation. Chimeze, your only one and only politician. You know him now. Yes, it will be here soon. I'm Kayode Ezekiel. Thank you, Sheyi. Thank you, Sandra. Lade, we are very grateful. Until we see you tomorrow, do have unto yourself a blessed day. Bye for now.